See, we're set. We're ready to go. Hi, Scary. How are you? They're in that bag. Don't start juggling though during class, okay? Awesome. Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to do this again in person because it's been a couple of years since I led a Yom Kippur class up in this room in person ever since COVID. So I'm gonna have an option. We have an option for Zoom as well, so that's recording for anyone that wants to hop in online. Let's take a deep breath. And take another one. Shrug your shoulders up into your ears. Let out a big sigh. And one more. Good. Feel yourself arrive in this space, in this beautiful sacred space. And feel free throughout the class. It was set up like this with the circle here. If you want to move your chair into a different area of the room or go to the floor or stand at any point during our time together, please take care of your body because we are sitting a lot and we're just kind of in one or two positions throughout the day. So feel free to please, this is your time to take care of yourself. And my intention is for this to be a time of integration for us, an integration in the middle of the day, time to rest. As well, if you want to just go to the back of the room or over here and lay down and rest for the whole time and just be, that is also an invitation for you. So we're going to start with some centering and grounding and just a little bit more becoming present, and then I'll do a reading. So feel free to close your eyes if you want to go within, or you can keep your eyes open with a soft gaze toward the floor. I brought my beautiful bowls that I love to play with, and I brought those today to just bless us with some healing resonance. moment to place a hand on your belly and on your heart and set your own kavana, your own intention for your time in this space this afternoon. What made you choose to come here? What are you hoping to cultivate by being here? And remembering, as Rabbi Perlman said last night, Yom Kippur is a full body experience. So we welcome the wisdom of our bodies to communicate with us as we move and breathe together. This poem is by Marcia Falk from The Days Between, Blessings, Poems, and Directions of the Heart for the Jewish High Holy Day season. And this poem is called Casting Away. We cast into the depths of the sea our sins and failures and regrets. Reflections of our imperfect selves flow away. What can we bear? With what can we bear to part? We upturn the darkness, bring what is buried to light. What hurts still lodge, what wounds have yet to heal? We empty our hands, release the remnants of shame. Let go fear and despair that have dug their home in us. Open hands, opening heart. The year flows out, the year flows in. We're going to play with embodying parts of this poem to really connect our souls to the words of that poem. And we'll start with breathing practice or pranayama, and we're going to connect the movement to our breath as we begin. So as you exhale, just open your arms wide. And then as you inhale, hands back to heart and belly. And exhale. Yep, now is going to be when you adjust your chairs. And exhale as you open. And inhale, hands to heart and belly. The year flows out. The year flows in. The year flows out. The year flows in. Let this movement embody releasing, letting go of 5783, the year that we had, and bringing in 5784, its blessings. And repeating to yourself and moving in a way and a speed that matches what works for you today. The year flows out and the year flows in. Slowly bring your arms up overhead. Open your hands wide. Feel the expanse of your chest and heart also opening and radiating. out and around you. Open hands, opening heart. And then draw your hands together in prayer and back down to your heart. We return once again. Open hands, open heart. We return once again. Open hands, open heart. We return once again. Open hands, open heart. We return once again. On your own, a few more times. Hands to the heart. Take a pause here. We're going to work with our massage balls. If you're at home and you don't have a ball with you, you can use a tennis ball or something like this, or you can use your fingers because those are healing. And that's before we had these massage balls, we were doing self-massage with fingertips. So I encourage you to follow along in a way that works for you. We're going to work on our chest and our neck and our feet. So you can stand at any time if you'd like, or you can stay seated. So the neck, we're going to start with the back of the neck. We'll start on the right side, just at the base of the skull. And just go side to side and get right up underneath the base there so that you can massage those muscles. You know, from looking down at our cedar ream, it's nice to just release these muscles. And if you're using fingertips, the 4 fingers just up into the base of the skull is a really nice technique, just kind of kneading and massaging in a way that feels intuitive. And just working the right side of that neck and down onto the top of the shoulder area. And allow this self-massage to be this integration time of all the beautiful words that we have heard so far, this beautiful music. Thank you so much for the beautiful music and beautiful voices. I'm going to change hands and with my left hand hold the ball and just start to work the right side of my chest. So if you're just working fingertips, you'll do the same thing. And I like to roll my arm back, kind of like a swimming backstroke, while I work on the chest. So we're stretching the muscle, but also kind of pinning it down, so that helps to elongate the muscles of the chest. It helps support opening of the heart, a softening of the heart. Take a moment to just let your arms rest by your side and notice what you feel on the right side, the neck and the chest, the shoulder. You might do a couple of shoulder circles on that side. And tilt the left ear to the left shoulder just to give a little natural opening to that side that you massaged. Roll your chin towards your chest. And then look straight ahead. And now we'll do the left side of the neck, the back and the side. And be careful not to cross over your spine. You want to stay on the side. Pressing and rolling and breathing. start to work on your chest on this side. You can change hands with the ball if that works for you. Start to open up the chest. Rest by your sides again. Do some shoulder circles with that left shoulder. And tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. Take a breath here. And then roll your chin towards your chest. And then keep drawing a line with your chin over to the left shoulder. And then over to the right. And then just moving your neck any way that you feel like you need to. So nice and slow. Pausing any place that might feel a little bit tight and just breathing into that space. Yeah, and sounds are really welcome here. I mean, I love this beautiful silent space right now, but your sounds are welcome. So if you want to sigh or yawn or anything at all, it's all welcome. Some more shoulder circles. Good. And then we'll do feet. So if you're not working with a ball and you want to do some foot massage with your fingers and hands, you can do that. I like to stand when I do the foot massage, just so I get a little more weight on the ball. And just start to work with your right foot. Welcome to those of us online. It's good to see you. It's hard to see you from here, but I see you. We're recording this so that anyone who wasn't able to attend can practice with it later. Or again. So getting into that inner arch is a great way to stimulate the reflex points for the spine. So that's a good place to work. And then find a spot that feels like it needs extra attention, and let your knee be soft and slightly bent, and rest your foot over that spot. Take some deep breaths and just imagine that your foot's like warm butter and it's just gonna kind of soften over the ball. Sorry to talk about food. For anyone who's fasting, I apologize. And then from where you are, just do like a tiny movement, maybe like a 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch to any direction, just to slowly move off that point and then pause there again. Yeah. Yes.
Are those sounds welcome too?
Yes, ooh is always welcome. And I tell my 3rd and 4th graders when they're stretching, some of them are not very inflexible, and they're yelling, ow, and I say, yoga should be ah, not ow. So if you have an ow, change it to an ah, like just back off a little bit. Good. Okay, take your foot off of that, on that side, and just stand with your feet parallel, and we're gonna do a little bit of balancing like this onto the toes, so we could just practice that now, just kind of come up onto the toes and back down. And when we get to that part in our practice, please feel free to use a chair for some extra support or a wall. And then when you stop, just notice the foot you massaged compared to the other foot. Notice the quality of connection that you have with that right side compared to the left. Good. Let's switch over. Give that left foot, or whatever foot you haven't done yet, give it some TLC. Does anyone wear heels for High Holy Day services, or everybody really wise and wears flat shoes? Does anyone wear heels?
These are not
Yeah,
oat.
those are
They're
little.
not oat.
They're what?
Not oat shoes. They're healthier.
They're healthier, yeah. Those little tiny heel can make our calves kind of tight. I wore a little bit of a heel today too. Get all the inner edge of your foot. And keep your breath flowing. Just keep breathing softly, fully. Breathing in, taking in life force, feeding your cells. I have to remind myself, whenever I say breathe, it's because I forgot to breathe. So there's my confession. And then find a place that feels like it needs a little extra attention. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to pause over that spot. Try to relax your toes. Bend your knee slightly and just soften over that spot. And then we're going to do a little tiny movement away from that spot. Maybe I tend to go toward my heel a little bit, but see what you need to do and pause again. Good. Roll it out just another couple of times. And then we're going to place the ball out of your way, maybe under your chair off to the side so you don't trip on it. And do a couple more soft knees, bent knees, up on the toes, and then back down. Just a little. Good. Inhale, bring the arms up and down. Up and down. Good. So I'm really excited about the sequence we're going to do today. Who was at the retreat that we did at Heather Farms? Just remind me, raise your hand if you're at the retreat. So we're going to do a little bit of a combo of affirmative embodied prayer, which I think is great timing for right now. And then a little new stuff that's Tai Chi inspired that we did last Tuesday, I think. Ziva, I'm glad you're here for this because you missed our class last Tuesday. And I know you like the Tai Chi stuff. So I designed this as a seated practice when I now go to the park all the time in the morning, and I sit at a bench and I use the bench and I do seated yoga. So you're free to join me, but if you want to do standing version, I'm going to offer the standing version too. It's slightly different, so choose whatever you're going to do and feel free to switch it up. So I like to embody my prayers. So these are my affirmations. I feel like they're pretty universal. So I am inviting you to take them on as your own, and then feel free to change them too if you'd like in your mind. But I'll invite you to just repeat them quietly to yourself as we go through them, as we go through different poses. I do have this sequence printed out and saved, so some of my class students asked for the sequence because they wanted to practice at home. So I have that if you're interested. But the way I like to start is to sit at the edge of the chair, or you can be standing, and we'll just inhale, reach up. I am grateful for my life. And you can just breathe whatever feels natural. I am grateful for my life. And then dive forward, forward fold, let it go. I bow to the source of all creation. I bow to the source of all creation. And then I come back up, and through seated, I open the heart. I open my heart to love, forgiveness, and compassion. I open my heart to love, forgiveness, and compassion. If you're standing, you can do this. I go within for wisdom. And if you're seated, I like to have my hands on my knees and just stretch like you're doing a little cat-cow here. Good, let's do that again. I open my heart to love, forgiveness, and compassion. I open my heart to love, forgiveness, and compassion. I go within for wisdom. I go within for wisdom. Good. Then we're going to lean over to the side. Right arm can come up, lean. That way we're all kind of going the same direction. I lean into support. I lean into support. And then the other side. I reach out to others. I reach out to others. Good. And back to center. The arms come up, palms up. We're going to take a gentle twist to the right. And then just look around you. Maybe look out the window. I seek and find beauty. I seek and find beauty. We're going to turn over to the other side. Take everything in that you can with your eyes. I seek and find beauty. I seek and find beauty. And come back to center. And here, I am centered, grounded, and peaceful. I am centered, grounded, and peaceful. Good. This is the part where there's a significant difference, so for standing. So let me show you seated first. We can all do it seated first if you'd like. I hug my knee into my chest. If you're standing, you can work this as a balancing pose, so feel free to do that. So here, give yourself a hug, and I say, I am thankful for this body. I am thankful for this body. I am thankful for this body. And then if you're seated, you're going to hold the back of your leg and just give it a stretch. If you're standing and balance is a challenge, you can just step your leg out like this and give a nice stretch to your leg. Good. God strengthens my steps. God strengthens my steps. Good. And here, for standing, I'm interested to see what you'll do with this. I cross my ankle over my knee, and I hinge forward and say, I am flexible with life's challenges. I am flexible with life's challenges. Good. Do some ankle rotations. I use this a lot. Good. And then come back to center, either standing or seated. I am centered, grounded, and peaceful. I am centered, grounded, and peaceful. And really allow yourself to settle into that affirmation. So we'll do this again on the second side. Inhale and reach up. I am grateful for my life. I am grateful for my life. Take a bow forward. I bow to the source of all creation. I bow to the source of all creation. Open up your heart. I open my heart to love, forgiveness, and compassion. I open my heart to love, forgiveness, and compassion. And then round, go within. Say, I find my wisdom within. I find my wisdom within. Good. Come back to upright. We're going to lean to the left. Bring the right arm up. Lean to the left. I lean into support. I lean into support. And then other side. I reach out to others. I reach out to others. Good. Come back to center. We'll take our twist. I seek and find beauty. I seek and find beauty. Bring your arms up overhead as you come to center. And other side. I seek and find beauty. I seek and find beauty. Come back to center. Hands to the heart. I am grounded, centered, and peaceful. I am grounded, centered, and peaceful. Good. We'll do the other leg now. We're going to hug the left leg in close to the body. I am grateful for this body. I am grateful for this body. Some ankle rotations if you want. And just really take a moment to to feel that you're hugging yourself, that you are grateful for this body with all that it brings, right? The things that are working well, the things that are having a challenge, just really offering that gratitude. And then straighten your leg and stretch the back of it. God strengthens my steps. God strengthens my steps. And then crossing the ankle over the knee and hinging at the hip crease. I am flexible with life's challenges.
I am flexible with life's challenges.
Good. Take some breaths here. And then bring your foot down. I am grounded, centered, and peaceful.
I am grounded, centered, and peaceful.
So the next couple of poses can easily be done standing. It might be more challenging to do them seated, but I really like to do them seated too. So I'm going to show you seated. We're going to do warrior one. So warrior one is we're going to do a right foot forward, left foot back for warrior one, and then your shoulders and rib cage face forward. From a chair, I'm sitting on the edge, and then I'm just doing the same thing, but I'm on the toes of my back leg. And I think it's really nice because it helps you get into your hip flexor. So, different days will offer different variations. So we're going to bring our arms up. And the affirmation here is, I focus on what's important. I focus on what's important. And just take a moment to name for yourself what is important. What are you focusing on? What do you want to be focusing on? Name in your heart a few things that you're focused on. From here, we'll switch to warrior two. So you'll just open up your arms like angel's wings, and maybe you'll adjust your feet a little bit to feel more balance if you want. That right knee is still bent. Good. Heart is open. Gazing over your right arm. And the affirmation is, I live a purpose-driven life.
I live a purpose-driven life.
What is your purpose? And if you're not sure, this is the time to ask. Let that wisdom drop in. What is my purpose? Guide me. And then we drop our back hand onto the thigh, lift our front hand, and we say, I receive all that I need. I receive all that I need. Thank you. Thank you. And then bring your arms back to warrior two. So, so if you're standing, great. You can stay standing. If you're sitting, great. But we're going to turn the feet. So we're kind of in a little bit of a squat with the toes facing out. So if you're seated, you'll do the same thing. And we're going to bend the knees and place the hands on the thighs. And just drop your right shoulder inward a bit and gaze over your left shoulder. Nice little stretch here. This is where I say I stay the course and make adjustments as needed. I stay the course and make adjustments as needed. And just thinking about your path and how you can stay committed to your path, and you can make adjustments, right? You can be flexible to get there, to get where you want to go. And then let the other shoulder drop in and gaze over your right shoulder, and we say again, I stay the course and adjust as needed.
I stay the course and adjust as needed.
Good. Come on up. And then we'll switch to doing warrior one on the other side. So the left foot is facing forward, and the left knee is bent, and the arm is raised up, and we gaze in front of us. Beautiful. Good. And I'll do this from the chair too. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters how it feels. So really just always come back to that, how it feels. Are you embodying the intentions of the movement and the prayers and the affirmations? I focus on what's important.
I focus on what's important.
What's important? Good. We're going to open up the arms, turn our waist, and gaze over the left arm. Beautiful. I live a purpose-driven life.
I live a purpose-driven life.
What are your purpose in life? What's important to you? And then reverse your warrior, so you can drop your back hand and lift your front hand and gaze up. I receive all that I need.
I receive all that I need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, and let your arms come down. Good, Good. And then we'll just keep that wide stance. Once again, we'll do our affirmation here of staying the course. So bring your hands to your thighs and then drop your right shoulder down and gaze over your left shoulder. I stay the course and I adjust as needed.
I
Stay the course and I adjust as needed. And then go to the other side. Keep your belly pulled in. I stay the course and I adjust as needed.
I stay the course and I adjust as needed.
Good. Come back to center. Wonderful. And then you can step your legs together. If you're in your chair, go ahead and bring your legs together. Take a moment to affirm, I am centered, peaceful, and grounded. I am
Centered, peaceful, and grounded.
Good. So this can be done, the next part is the Tai Chi part, and it's really a lot of arm movement. You can rise up on your toes too, and if you're doing, I feel like this is in the way. If you're doing that from the seat, you can just come up onto your toes and think of moving energy and moving your intention into the world just from here. So it works either way. I'm going to do it from standing. So in that prayer, in that poem, she says, we upturn the darkness and bring what is buried to light. That was one of my favorite lines in that poem. We upturn the darkness and bring what is buried to light. This is the time that we do this. And once we bring something into the light, it's not as scary. It's not as scary. So I want us to embody that. So the way I do it is I bring my feet a little bit apart from each other, and the toes are kind of pointed away from each other. So it helps with balance a bit. And it's also Tai Chi inspired. So I'm going to rise up onto my toes and bring my arms up and then flick my fingers and then come back down. So we'll just do that a couple of times. Rise up in a little flick. So think of just flicking off anything that you've been holding on to, letting that go. You do that a few times. And we're upturning the darkness. Okay, so we can say that. We upturn the darkness. And you can even, if your calves get tired, you can just bend your knees and just let that movement come from your knees. So lots of ways to make this yours. We upturn the darkness. Good. And then pause here. This is going to go right into this movement of we bring, what did I say? What was it? I have it written down because it makes me nervous when you're all here staring at me. We bring what is buried to light. So we bring what is buried to light, and then we move our hands, and it's like we're setting it out in front of us. So we'll do that part. We bring what is buried to light. So what was really fun about when I was designing this is I was thinking about the archangels and how Uriel is the archangel of light and is thought to be in front of us as far as locations are. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool thing to envision and to think about. So if we combine it, it looks like this. We upturn the darkness. We bring what is buried to light. We upturn the darkness. Bring what is buried to light. We upturn the darkness and bring what is buried to light. On your own, you can say this to yourself or quietly or silently, and do this on your own with the intention to really bring what is buried to light. Keep your breath flowing. We'll do one more. Good. Bring your feet a little closer together and bring your hands into palms up and just rest in this shape of receiving. Notice what you feel. Good. We'll take a forward fold now. If you're standing, this is the wide-legged forward fold. So we don't have blocks. So what might be helpful if you're a little tight through the legs is to open the legs, and then you can come to the floor. You can use the chair as a support. So that's for our wide-legged forward fold. I'm going to invite you to come into that now. You can also sit on the edge of your chair and you can do a little wide leg forward fold too. And so we're just looking to get some traction in the upper spine and the neck, a little bit of blood flow to the brain. It's really nice to enliven us really in the middle of our day. And take a couple of deep breaths. And as the poem says here, why don't we let go of fear and despair that have dug their home in us? So just think of fear, despair, anything that you've been holding on to this year. Just imagine it pouring out of your mind, out of your body, washing over you. And just giving it back to the earth. The earth knows what to do with it. Letting go of fear and despair. A couple more breaths. Good. And then safely, slowly, start to walk your feet toward each other and come up with a flat back if you can, just keeping your belly engaged. Good. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale your hands to your heart. I am grounded, centered, and peaceful. I am grounded, centered, and peaceful. So another part of my morning bench practice is a little bit of front of my neck stretches and using the eyes. So I take my right hand and place it, it's nice to place it on the skin. If you can't get skin to skin contact, it's totally fine. But if you're able to, it's also a nice way to get a little bit of traction on the fascia, so that just surrounds the muscles. And the heat of your hand, whether it's on skin or over clothing, will be supportive in helping to open up that fascia. So right hand on the left chest, and my pointer finger is underneath my collarbone here, kind of nestled under there. And keep your knees soft. And then tilt your ear, your right ear to your right shoulder. And then just a tiny bit of chin back, so you get into the front of your neck. This is can be a very tight spot, so we want to be gentle, not forcing the stretch. That little bit of connection from our hand will help support just a nice gentle opening there. And breathe. And then if you can open your eyes, sometimes I like to do it with my eyes closed, but for this affirmation, I open my eyes and I look all around as I kind of stretch the neck, so you can start to turn your head and move it in ways very slowly that feel good. And just start to look at things from this perspective. And I say, I see with new eyes from new perspectives. I see with new eyes from new perspectives. And thinking about how we can move into this new year with more open-mindedness, seeing with open eyes, from new perspectives, other people's perspectives. And then slowly roll your chin toward your chest. And then we'll transition to the other side, left hand on the right side of the chest. And first, just starting with the left ear to left shoulder. Nice flowing breath. And then when you're ready, tilting the chin back just a little bit. And with the eyes open, you can start to move your neck in ways that feel supportive. And look around you. What can you see from this angle? I see with new eyes from new perspectives. I see with new eyes from new perspectives. Good. And then slowly bring your chin towards your chest and release your hand. And then just turn your head naturally in a couple of directions. Just release your neck. here we do a lot of times this tapping technique, and we say, ah, we wake up and stimulate our vagus nerve. So let's do that. We'll do that right now. With a smile if you feel like smiling. Good. It's waking up the vagus nerve. Good. Okay. So then what I've done is I've turned it into this affirmation of I awaken my soul. So you can just tap here and say, I awaken my soul. I awaken my soul. Good. And then I'm going to sit for this. If you still feel like you want to stand because you just want to stand, that's great. That's fine. But I'm going to sit because we can do this all from sitting. So I love to also bring in the tapping technique, emotional freedom technique, into our yoga classes. And I thought it was really amazing that the affirmation I thought to bring or thought to share with you today was almost the exact message that Rabbi Perlman shared last night about this idea of perfectionism and that we're enough and self-forgiveness. And I thought, oh, that's good, we're aligned, and it feels really good that we can kind of embody her message from last night. And so raise your hand if you've practiced emotional freedom technique before, the tapping of different spots. Okay, great. Oh, good. Okay. It's you can look it up online. There's tons of information and books out there. But what it is basically is a combination. It brings together the modern science of psychology with the ancient practice of acupuncture and acupressure points. So it works with the meridians, the ends of the meridians. And as we say things, as we affirm things, while tapping these points, it really sends a message to the nervous system of safety, and it kind of rewires your brain a bit, and it rewires your nervous system, and it's great for working with things that are anxiety producing. And it's also great, I find, to work with affirmations. So there's only 9 points. There's a lot of points, but we're just going to do the basic 9 that have scientific evidence behind them. They're really helpful. So these points are the top of the head. And if you look this up, sometimes people do it in different orders. This is what I've always practiced. So the top of the head right in the middle is one of our points. So just tap that. And then we tap the start of the eyebrows. So just a gentle tapping at the start of the eyebrows. This is kind of easy because you'll remember to go all around your eye. So then you go to the side of the eye, like that ocular bone, and then right under the eye. Just gentle tapping. And then right under your nose is a spot. And you see we don't have to stay in these areas for very long. And then right at the chin, under the bottom lip. And then that point that we tap so often in class, this is a major acupressure point down here. And then the ribs, so maybe like a hand width or 4 fingers width down from your armpit area. You can also just kind of give yourself a hug and tap, or even rub. Sometimes this can be sore because this is a spleen point. And then last is the karate chop point. So if you were to do a karate chop, that muscle on the side of your hand, on either hand, you're just tapping. You can choose a side or do both. So those are the points.
Can you tell me what that's called again?
EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique.
Okay.
Or you could even just look up tapping technique and you'll find some information there. So what I want us to tap into our nervous systems and into our souls today is this idea that even though we make mistakes, we love and accept ourselves unconditionally. So sometimes it can feel kind of cheesy to like do these affirmations, but they're really powerful. And hopefully after all that we've listened to over the last day, that we can kind of invite that feeling, really truly invite it in. So we'll start with the top of the head and just say to ourselves, you can say quietly or silently, it doesn't matter if you do it out loud or not, even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. Good. And then the then start at the eyebrows. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. And the sides of the eyes. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. And then right under the eyes. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. Under the nose. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. And the chin. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. And right under the collarbones. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. Under the armpit area. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. And the karate chop point. Even though I make mistakes, I love and accept myself unconditionally. And then bring your hands to your lap and just take a breath. And notice how you feel. So for an example, if you made a mistake or you did something and you caused yourself stress or someone else stress and you're feeling a little triggered by that, you could do this right in that example. You could just take that moment and just start doing that. What's really helpful, what's powerful is if you gauge your level of stress before you do it, you say on a scale of 1 to 10, how triggered am I? You maybe would feel like a 7 or a 9. And then you do the tapping, and then you say, okay, what number am I at now? And it will go down. And so you do it as much as you need to until you get to like a number that feels better, like a 3 or a 4, or maybe a 0. But you just do that before and after, and it's really powerful because you can really sense how you created a shift in your nervous system. So there's a little Yom Kippur tool as we move forward to 5784, because we're still going to make mistakes and we're still going to, do what we do. We're going to do our best. So that was our EFT technique. We're going to set up for just resting a little bit. So you can stay seated if you want, or you can move to the floor. If you're comfortable on the floor, this is kind of a nice way. I think we've done this before, where you kind of scoot close to the chair and you can put your legs there. It's like being in an anti-gravity chair a little bit. It kind of takes pressure off the back, but you can stay seated or you can lie flat, whatever you want to do. You can lay on your tummy, I don't care, whatever feels good. And we're going to just start to rest and continue to integrate all the wisdom that we've been surrounded by today, all the inner processes that we've been going through as we stir our souls, as we upturn the darkness and bring what is the dark into the light, right? Bring what is buried to light. And if at any time, if the position you've chosen to be in needs to change, please feel free to make that adjustment, right? Find as much comfort as you can. And whatever position you're in right now, see if there's any place in your body that could release a little bit more, that could let go. Become aware of the bones of your body. And imagine that your bones could get heavier, that they could surrender even more to gravity. And then the muscles over your bones could just melt and soften into the bones. The muscles soften into the bones. And then feeling the skin softening over the muscles as your muscles soften over bones, as your bones settle into the earth, into gravity. Letting go of all effort and simply allowing the body to be in its perfectly imperfect state. Allow the muscles of your face to soften. The crease between the eyebrows, that muscle to release. Your jaw letting go. Your tongue softening in the cradle of your jaw. The throat softening and releasing. And allow a warm wave of relaxation and healing to begin to wash over the top of your head, down through your body, over your shoulders and your arms. As this wave of healing washes over you, invite it to move into the places that need healing, that need some extra attention. This warm healing wave continues through your chest and your belly, through your back and your hips, and through your legs, your upper legs, your knees, your lower legs. And this healing wave continues down through your ankles and your feet, every one of your toes, every one of your fingers, your palms, every part of you receiving healing, integration. And allow yourself to continue receiving for these next few moments. We cast into the depths of the sea our sins and failures and regrets. Reflections of our imperfect selves flow away. What can we beat? What can we bear? With what can we bear to part? We upturn the darkness, bring what is buried to light. What hurts still lodge, what wounds have yet to heal. We empty our hands, release the remnants of shame. Let go of fear and despair that have dug their home in us. Open hands, opening heart. The year flows out. The year flows in. Your breath flows out. Your breath flows in. Every exhale, a letting go of the past. Every inhale, a welcoming of this new moment. A new beginning with every breath. Begin to sense your weight of your body resting wherever it is. Begin to feel and notice the air, the temperature of the air on your skin. Know that this warm blanket of healing that washed over you and through you, that it stays with you. Even as you leave this space, that it stays with you. Bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly once again, just reconnecting to your intention from the beginning of our time together, noticing if it's the same, if it's changed. Let your presence feed that seed. And then start to move your body to help you awaken all of your senses. Take your time moving in ways that feel good. Maybe rolling to your side before you sit back up. To close our practice with a universal blessing for all beings, and I invite you to repeat after me if you'd like to. May all beings be happy.
May all beings be happy.
May all beings be healthy.
May all beings be healthy.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be loved.
May all beings be loved.
May all beings have peace.
May all beings have peace.
May it be so. Kenya hi ratzon.
May it be so.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Ukamar chatima tova.
Tada rabba.
So much.
Thank you for coming and joining me.
As usual.
I'm so glad you were here.
Perfect.
Feel free to hang out. I'm just going to be cleaning up and take your time. On to wherever you're off to next. So enjoy the rest of our wonderful offerings today.
Oh, thanks, man. Just really, and this is your profile experience, how you help facilitate us embody all the prayers.